Happy 25th anniversary to LEGO Star Wars, everyone. Even though I grew up playing the complete saga, I believe that LEGO Star Wars 3 is the best LEGO Star Wars game. This was probably my favorite video to make because I was able to relive my childhood by watching the Clone Wars again. Just like every LEGO game, though, it has its fair share of inaccuracies, and I'm sure you know where this is going. Let me know if I missed anything in the comments. The first inaccuracy is in the ending cutscene of the Geonosian battle. When they go into the gunship, the protagonists go straight to a Venator. In the movie, they chase Count Dooku on Geonosis. The same thing is true for the antagonists as well. In the opening cutscene of Gungan General, it shows Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Count Dooku all chained to a wall. This is different from the show where they are all chained to a floor. Also, Jar Jar was never in Palpatine's office. The clone troopers in the game are in their default infantry outfits, while in the show they had custom armor for pilots. This is also consistent for other troop classes in the game. Additionally, the power lines outside the building are red instead of blue and purple. In the beginning of Jedi Crash, Anakin and Ahsoka are shown riding in separate gunships, but in the show they are seen in the same one. Anakin and Ahsoka only ever dock their gunship onto one Venator in the show. In the beginning cutscene of Defenders of Peace, Anakin is shown in the pilot's seat, despite the fact that at this point in the show, he was incapacitated. This also means that he could not have hit the hyperspace button. When they crash on the planet, the ship is still slightly intact, but in the show it had exploded by this point. They also didn't find any indigenous life on the planet until much later on in the day. It additionally took longer for there to be separatist activity on the planet in the show. The ship the heroes get on at the end of the level is different between the versions. In the game, it is a gunship, but in the show, it's a differently designed ship that I don't know the name of. In Weapons Factory, Ahsoka and Barriss are not looking at the invasion plans despite the fact that they are in the show. From what I've seen, it seems like the Geonosian ambush never happens in the game. The super tanks had already been blown up before the building blew up in the show. Along with that, the tank that Ahsoka and Barriss were in flew from the sky instead of coming out of the ground. In the opening of Legacy of Terror, Luminara didn't see Poggle on the cliff in the show. The only reason she went in that direction was to search for him. When the second sandstorm comes, Anakin is displayed being outside, but in the show he's inside a room with Obi-Wan and Kid Adi-Mundi. This is also true when Obi-Wan is shown outside as well. Additionally, Obi-Wan and Anakin didn't go after Luminara until the storm cleared out in the show. While the Geonosians did take the Jedi's lightsaber away like they did in the show, the game is inaccurate by using it as a weapon against them. In the ending cutscene, it is shown that they get above ground from a tornado, which is different from the show where they all have to climb up. The escape gunship and the hidden enemy never had rockets being fired at it in the show. On top of that, the ones who inspect the helmet are Obi-Wan and Anakin on the gunship instead of Cody and Rex at the base. When Anakin and Obi-Wan are starting their secret mission, they come out of a gunship instead of Separatist speeders. When Asajj Ventress came on screen, she jumped from the top of somewhere, which is different from the show where she simply walked in. In order to get out of the hole in the game, Obi-Wan and Anakin had to build steps, but in the show all they had to do was jump out. While the clone minigunner was shot in the show, he did not lose his arm. In the next section of the level, the episode equivalent had only Yoda fight the droids instead of him and the clones, at least until the droidicas arrived. When the king is about to be killed, Yoda steps in and blocks with his lightsaber. This is different from the show where he uses the Force. The droid that is being investigated in Blue Shadow Virus is blue instead of brown. The way they find about the attack on Naboo is once again different in both versions. In the game, the droid directly shows it to them, but in the show, it is due to information given by Jar Jar Binks. When Padme and Jar Jar are investigating the water, they do not have suits on like they do in the show. Ahsoka and Rex were not looking at the plans with Anakin and Obi-Wan in the show. The opening cutscene shows Ahsoka coming out of a gunship, despite the fact that by this point in the show, she was already on the planet. Anakin and his clones didn't fight immediately in the room where Padme was being held in the show. They instead dropped their weapons. Also, the scene where the scientist shoots the clone was completely made up for this game and has no origin in the show. Padme did not have to destroy the plants like she did in the game. She only had to look under them. In the ending cutscene, Padme and Ahsoka are above ground. This is different from the show where they are still underground when the scientist is defeated. In the opening cutscene of Storm over Ryloth, Anakin gets out of his ship in his starfighter instead of an escape pod. In this same level, the Venator crashes into the ship after the invasion fleet comes, which is opposite to the show. Where Obi-Wan and his clones encounter the beasts is different between both versions. In the show, it's in the middle of a random path, but in the game they see them come right out of the cage. The way they deal with the beasts is also different. While they do lead them under a bridge like they do in the show, we did not see them be crushed by it in the game. In the show, they were able to free the prisoners before entering the cannon, but it seems in the game they had to use the cannon first. By the time the battle started in Liberty over Ryloth, Mace Windu and his clones had already crossed the bridge in the show. In Duel of the Droids, The hole that Ahsoka used to get inside was made by the droid instead of Anakin. When Ahsoka runs away, the droid has already betrayed her, but at this point in the show, it hasn't. Also, Ahsoka was present when the charges were put in place despite the fact that only the clones did it in the show. When Anakin finds R2 in the game, he has to rebuild him, but in the show R2 was completely fine. The place where the droids fight is different as well. In the game, they are in the hangar and eventually get on the catwalk, but in the show, it seems to be only fought on the catwalk. Additionally, R2 was never hanging on the catwalk by a literal thread. Anakin never went inside Obi-Wan's Venator at the end of Shadow of Malevolence in the show. In Destroy Malevolence, Anakin and Obi-Wan find Padme much later in the game compared to the show. R2 had different roles between the game and the show. In the game, he tags along with Obi-Wan for co-op's sake, but in the show, they separated to find C-3PO. In the opening of Lair of Grievous, Nadar Veb is missing his cloak that he had in the show. In order to get into the lair, the game requires many steps to be taken, which is different from the show where Kit Fisto is able to press a hidden button. Inside the lair itself, they do not fight Magna Guards until after Grievous makes his appearance in the show. When Grievous saw his pet die, the game showed him see it in person, but in the show he was watching on a screen. The moment when Nadar dies is likewise different. In the game, he dies on the platform, but in the show it happens while he's still inside. The droid helmet required to get into the base in Rookies is different between versions. The one in the show is that of a commander droid. At the end of the same level, the clones are shown picking up explosives and bringing them back, but in the show, they already had them. The hallway that connects the two ships in Grievous Intrigue doesn't have glass windows in the show. In the Zillo Beast, the game shows Anakin and Windu on the battlefield, which is different from the show where they didn't go there until after the bomb dropped. In Hostage Crisis, the place where Aura Singh snipes from is different between the versions. In the show, she shoots much farther away from another building. In the mid-tro cutscene, one of the senators that was in Palpatine's office with him is absent in the game. Before this video, I've made 5 inaccuracy videos, and this is by far the one with the most inaccuracies with a whopping 66. This is likely due to the fact that the 18 episodes takes up more time than 3 movies. Thank you all for watching.